Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com, and today we are discussing a wonderful 1996 release and a signature model for Chronoswiss, once of Munich, now of Lucerne. This is an important watch from one of the more interesting independents of our time, the Chronoswiss Delphis Jump Hour Retrograde, a timepiece nicely sized at 38.2 millimeters, only 10.9 millimeters thick, and despite the strength of the lugs visually, they're not excessively sized, 46.9 millimeters lug to lug, with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Chronoswiss, well, it dates back to 1983, and Gerd Rudiger Long, who was a veteran of the Heuer years of motorsport sponsorship and chronograph work in F1, and after Heuer began to wind down as a company in the early 1980s and mechanical watches were beset by the quartz crisis, Long actually founded his own company, Chronoswiss, in 1983, a German company based out of Munich that did some of its production in Germany, some of its production in Switzerland, but owed all of its style to the legacy of Swiss watchmaking, in which Long himself was a practitioner while at Heuer. The watches are idiosyncratic in design and clever in their conception, and you can see that on my wrist. My 16 centimeter circumference wrist wears this yellow gold model. I believe well proportionally, but it is a striking watch. Yellow gold is not something you see too often in the modern era. It has always been part of the Chronoswiss lineup because Long felt that it was traditional and thus it deserved to be there. And certainly the watch has outsized presence specifically because of the use of yellow gold. Now jumping straight in, you can see that this watch is equipped with a semi-gloss, medium rectangular scale alligator leather strap bolstered with a monotone stitch. You can see it's calfskin on the underside. It is a new Chronoswiss factory strap. They're still around these days. They build their watches entirely out of Lucerne. And you can see that there is a matching Chronoswiss yellow gold pin buckle original to the watch. Jumping into the case band, you can see some of the features that Long felt were essential for a traditionally inspired Swiss watch. Now the timepiece, of course, a hybrid of German and Swiss engineering and assembly, but you can almost see a few Breguet style cues that were copied from Daniel Roth's designs at Breguet during the 1970s and 1980s, and if that's your role model, you're doing well. You can see there's an onion style crown, coined bezel, coined caseback, vertical satin finish all the way around. You have extended welded style lugs with bars fixed by screws. And moving on to the dial side, and I should mention the dial itself is precious metal, sterling silver, you have an extraordinary billowing stamped guilloche style, and it has a sort of radiant quality that extends from satin finished constant seconds track with a little bit of a checker pattern stamped upon it. So several different stamped guilloche patterns here, and we'll give ourselves a bit more light and move in a bit. Appreciate the fact that the small details really mattered. The different guilloche patterns, the balance of the dials. You can basically split it from 12 to 6 and it's perfectly symmetrical. The fact that the constant seconds rather than the cannon pinion at center is the focal point of the guilloche in radiant fashion. And then it's an easy watch to read. You can see there is an extended blued Foy style hand to match the Foy style constant seconds. The timepiece individually numbered on its dial, quite literally number 30 in this style. The timepiece also featuring a wonderful and awfully animated display of time. It's a retrograde, and note when we jump from 23 to 24, so it's a 24-hour format watch. You're going to jump from 23 to the Chronoswiss logo, and of course from there back to 1. So 24 is the Chronoswiss logo, and then the watch itself is a regulator. You can adjust forward or backwards. That features a 24-hour format hour. Turn it all over, and at some point, GR Long pretty much cornered the market on the supply of new old stock Einekar 165 movements, and that's what you have right here. It's an Einekar 165 decorated and modified by Chronoswiss with the appearance and module, unidirectional winding, 35-hour power reserve, 21 6-beat rate, 29 joules. It features the Long designed retrograde and jump hour module on the top, 30 meters water resistant. It's not an aquatic watch, but it is awfully animated fastening. Idiosyncratic to the point that it's almost a cult watch. If you talk to Chronoswiss fans, oftentimes they're going to mention the Opus and the Delphis as the two essential pieces that you have to have when starting a Chronoswiss collection, and if you're going to own just one from the brand, it's going to be one of those two. I'm more of a jump hour retrograde guy than a skeleton chronograph, and of course you've got that wonderful new old stock vintage Einakar 165 on the case back. A lovely watch, an original watch, an interesting brand, still around, still servicing its watches. It's one of the earliest of the independent watch brand trend, founded in 1983, and one of the longest running, a true survivor of the quartz crisis and a pioneer of independent horology, Chronoswiss, and this watch, the Delphis. Truly compelling. See it and own it on the watch box.